Now, I want to get more personal here because what will bring up the sacrifice or need to sacrifice is often something that we didn't realize we set ourselves up for. And that's called a promise, a vow, a decision to live a certain way. I mean, when we decide to go to college, we have to abide by a certain level of rules. We take certain classes, we graduate, we come out with the big hoop that we jump through all the rings. We get passed to go to different places. And we make different vows, whether it's marriage or having children, etc. And when I made a vow to become a bishop with my two brothers here, it was the most important decision I'd made in my life because I've been avoiding my path. And for about 10 years or so, I found that I was drifting along, or I mean before this too, but the vow made me focus. And on the picture on the right, this is at the retreat that we had in 2019, where I felt like my life had come to a place where, what else do you want from me, God? I'm doing all the classes I'm teaching. I'm working for CLM. I'm working at my day job as a landscaper for this giant corporation, balancing the land, etc. But I know there's more. So I was at the table making the vow that I would live up to it. Bring it on, I said. And so I was asking, what is it all about? And this is what was channeled through. It's all about control. You cannot control nor save, fix, or prevent anything from happening, such as what happened to the birds or at your project. This is not your job, postulate. Your job is not to control or about control at all. In truth, nearly everything is already out of control. In fact, control doesn't really exist at all. All that exists is each being's awareness from the smallest cells to us of what flow really is. Flow is not control. Control is blocking the flow. Flow is surrendering what can't be controlled in that moment or next one. Doing this is your divine tone, tapping your strands of creation, doing the inside out healing, something that my guides have been teaching me, a new way of creating a miracle healing. These practices resolve not the problem, but your view of the problem. Allow a more flowing awareness of it, more aligned flow to be found, a new pattern of possibilities and solutions. Holding on to control is what you're letting go of at a very deep level. Experience this allows a very deep level of surrender, which is the only thing that is a truly a choice free of any control, that allows your view of the flow to resolve or reveal what's wrong. In this space, understanding comes as why something happened. This is when conspiracies fall away as illusions. The fear you are confronting and releasing makes it hard to believe this is so. The wrongs or bad are the anchors of false safety the ego is holding on to for dear life. Having no answer of what to do is the fear of losing control. But letting this go is the surrender needed, and opening to that allows your awareness to expand beyond the idea of control. This is where the divine presence is even more present within you than you may realize. You step more fully into this space of bringing the divine presence into you, your distortion around control will shift and release, allowing your graces or gifts to manifest more strongly in your life. So the reason I'm talking about this is that, isn't that the core of what's going on for all of us? Our fear is about losing something or something happening to us that we don't want to happen, which means that we want to control what's going on. There's no blame to be given here. When we blame, we're just holding on to something rather than setting it on the altar. What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to give up today in terms of attachments? What are you willing to let go today? Now, yes, I know that you're in maybe some kind of pain, physical, emotional, mental. I've been experiencing those for a year, but are you willing to let it go? Are you willing to put your pain on the altar instead of, as Carolyn May says, why do people not heal? Because victimization becomes a source of power. You know who you are. I'm telling you, I'm on disability now and I'm working half time while I'm on disability. And it's like, this is great. I watch people go on unemployment. This is great. You know, you got to be careful though. I'm only going to use this while God's asking me to do it. When God asks me to go back full time, I'm there. I don't really care. But I'm also willing to put on that altar FSD, my participation in CLM, even being a bishop. I'm willing to put on all my relationships. I'm willing to put on anything that you can think of, anything that I'm attached to. I'm willing to leave my apartment. I'm willing to move tomorrow. I'm willing to give up anything because that's what it takes. You can't hold stuff behind your back while you're telling God, I'll do what you're asking. Just, I'm going to take this with me. Okay, it's my football. You got to give up the football. What are you willing to sacrifice? And it matters because, as I told you, the mind in the background is constantly doing these things. What do you think it's worried about? It's worried about the attachments. I mean, I have a responsibility to things, but if I'm holding intention, it works. I've learned that. I teach it. So why am I busy trying to go back and rehold it and rehold it and rehold it? It's because I'm letting go of it by thinking. So what are you willing to sacrifice? And what are your choices, conscious or unconscious? Because they make us or break us. So look at how you're choosing and choose wisely.